What's up? This is Michael from Sunflower Dead.
We are the damned.
Let's rock.
We are the damned. Cursed with conscience to break free. We are the damned.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
All right, just kind of waking up. Just got off the road and got home late last night. So just starting my day with this.
Oh, well, sorry about that. What an ugly mug to look at when you wake up in the morning. Huh?
No worries at all. I'm happy to do it.
Awesome. How are things?
Things are good. Just completed a 5-week tour in the US and amazingly, we finished the entire 28 shows. Didn't get canceled, due to COVID. So we're pretty happy that we were able to get it in. Nobody got sick and all is well.
Fantastic. And how are the crowds?
They were good. I was kind of shocked. Some places were really good. So it was interesting to be back on the road after a year and a half. And I had a wonderful time.
Yeah, a year and a half without a gig.
Yeah, right. It's just, but the whole world went through it. A lot of people had a lot worse to not playing gigs. You know what I'm saying? So
True. You were productive though.
We
the pandemic.
I know we got off tour March 8th of 2020, and like 5 days later, the world shut down, and all our tour dates got canceled like everybody else. So we just said, well, let's just write a new record. Let's write some songs and see what happens. And we did. We wrote a new record, recorded it, mixed it, mastered it, got it done, shot videos for it, did the whole thing. And now everything's ready to go. And as touring is opening back up and hopefully will continue to be open, we are prepared, you could say.
Yeah, you're all set, but it's not coming out until March. What the heck is up with that?
Well, we just figured since we're, an independent band and the way the industry works with, and once you put the record out, it's kind of dead in the water, nowadays. We figured we would do a long pre-sale session and release a bunch of singles and videos to really exploit the record and make people or give them a chance to hear what's on the record before it's deemed old 2 days after it comes out.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, you got to just change with the times a little bit. It's all good.
Yeah, so it's called March of the Lepers. Your 4th studio album.
Yep.
Full length, right?
Yeah.
And I was reading on your website that you mention, I'm just going to read this because I don't want to get it wrong. You took a long, hard look at yourselves during the time that you got locked down. What are you talking about?
Well, we just kind of did, after each record, we do an assessment, of where we are as a band and what's going on. And after the last record cycle, which really, we didn't get to do everything we wanted to do because we had band members quitting and we only got to tour 3 times. And, we really got, I would say, brushed aside by a lot of the industry, which happens. I guess we kind of felt like, what? I don't think anybody really cares. So if nobody really cares, besides obviously the people that love the band, that's different. If nobody cares, then I don't think we really care anymore to try and do anything but what makes us 100% happy. So that's all we did. We wrote songs to make ourselves happy. We didn't once consider, will this be good on radio? Will this fit in with whatever fad is going on today? Which I don't even know if there is one, but who the hell knows? But
exactly.
But we just were like, let's write a bunch of songs that Jaboo and I like because there's nobody else in the band. We take touring musicians with us on the road and not really give a fuck besides that. And that's what we did. And we made ourselves happy completely, 100%, with no outside influences.
That's really interesting because before I thought you did have a full band.
Yes.
And then, So once the pandemic hit, you kind of went just as the two of you and...
No, I mean, I can explain it this way. When we started the band, it was me and Jaboo, and then we found people in the local Southern California scene that we had known, and we built a band. By the second record, that band changed a little bit, and we had that lineup for the second record for about 4 years. and we were a pretty solid unit. Everybody contributed to the second record, even though the band was technically owned by 3 people. Okay, there were still 5 people contributing to the songwriting and to everything. By the third record, Coma, 2 of those members had left, so it was only 3 of us, the 3 people that owned it on paper.
Right.
And then halfway through the Coma cycle, one of the owners decided he had to leave the band. Okay, he wanted to take care of his kid and do the adult thing. Right. So it was just 2 of us. So we finished the touring for that album that we got with just the 2 of us and hired guns, and it went great. And then when we got, when the pandemic hit, it was just like, well, there's just 2 of us the way we started. So, and we're the main songwriters. We've always written with other people, in the band, but we're the main songwriters. So what do you want to do? And we're like, well, let's just make ourselves happy. And that's pretty much what happened. And we didn't want to hire guys and pretend like they're our new band, that they were on the record, and make, and pretend that it's like 4 or 5 guys doing this. We were pretty transparent right away. We took the pictures down of the band members, and we put pictures up on social media of Jaboo and I. Not to say we're a 2-person band, because it isn't. It's a 5-person band live. But there's only 2 members, and for now, that could change, obviously. But we didn't want to, pretty much bullshit anyone on that. And it seems to be working really well.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why not make it work? Now, the 2 songs I've heard. Oh, before I get to that, also on your website, you talked about being outcasts.
Sure.
So you touched on that, but why do you think you were an outcast? I mean, your music wasn't that crazy that you
not at all
outcasts. I know you had an image in the early days with the makeup and everything, but other bands have done that. Why would you be considered outcasts?
I really couldn't tell you. All I know is there is unfortunately, and I don't know why, because I don't know these people personally, but there is a segment of the industry that seems to not want to open the door for Sunflower Dead. And we just, again, got an email yesterday from somebody that could literally just play our song on their station. That's a huge station. And from day one, they have chosen never to play us. And we don't know why, because we don't know this person personally. We've never met them. We don't know anything about it, but it's just kind of like, okay, there's a segment of the industry that loves us. And then there's a segment that will not let us in the door. And we were like, no matter what, and since we're not really the type of people to cater to someone or change to make people happy or be part of the kiss-ass crew per se, we're just going to do our thing. And if you want to let us in, great. If you don't, great. And we feel like outcasts, but it's not so much a negative thing. It's more just like, hey, if we're the Lepers, if you don't want to let us into the cool guy club, that's fine. We're happy doing what we're doing, and we're going to go out and kick ass. And maybe one day you will, but in the meantime, we're going to keep pushing forward. Awesome.
And always remember that, for the first at least 3 albums, Metallica never got airplay either. And then boom, so anything can happen anytime.
And we're probably the most positive we've ever been on all that, because it just kind of is like, well, it is what it is. And then the one thing I think that makes us a little strange for people, because we've toured with a lot of different types of bands, and we're not quite a rock band. And now the classic rock thing seems to be doing like a lot of stuff, and we're not quite a metal band. So, and we kind of fall in between. And so it's like, people are like, well, are you new metal band? And we're like, well, not really, because we have guitar solos and all this stuff. And are you a metal band? Well, kind of. Are you a rock band? Well, kind of. We kind of like fit in between. So we can, I think it's a good thing, or we can go back and forth and in and out. But for some people, I believe it's been like, well, pick a lane. And I'm going, well, we are in our lane. We're in our own lane. And that's, it's not that crazy different, like you said, but some people just don't want to say, okay, come on in, which is fine.
Yeah, just keep plugging away.
Yeah, for sure.
What else are you going to do? So tell us about this new album, March of the Lepers.
Well, it is, it's 9 tracks. It's 10 pieces of music over 9 tracks. And it's probably the most complete album we've done. And I don't have a problem with any of our records. I'm proud of all of them. I'm proud of the makeup. I'm proud of everything we've done. But it just seems like, once again, we took it to a new level. And we do this thing where we constantly take everything we learn for each record we've done and then move forward from it, see what works, see what didn't work, and keep tweaking. And I feel like, because it was just Jaboo and I this time doing everything, writing, we ended up with a really concise 9 songs that I think are all pillars and all stand alone on the record. You know, they're all really strong. Like I said, we didn't sit there and write on purpose radio singles, or, you know, it just was like, let's write 9 songs that make us completely fulfilled and feel honest as with who we are as artists. And I believe we did that. And on top of it, we stepped up the musicality, and we really started showing what Jaboo has to offer as a guitarist, because I feel he's been slighted on the last 3 albums personally. Not that what he played isn't great, but now he's showing what he can really do. And I think people are going to go, damn, this dude is legit.
Yeah, I was listening to it today. The Underneath.
Right.
I mean, that's a riff-tastic monster, as I like to call it. I mean, that's an amazing playing on that song.
Like, and that's exactly why we put that out first. It's not a radio single. Not that it's not catchy, but it just wasn't a radio single. It was, we're like, we wanted to put something out that showcased him and the musicality, still with a great song. And that's why that song went out first. Actually, the song that would be a radio single is coming out 5th. We're going backwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
putting out all the cool shit first to let people know. Because what happens is you put out 1 or 2 radio singles and people don't go and listen to the rest of the album. They think that's all you are. Is okay. But for us, like, no, we did a lot of really cool stuff. We want people to hear it. So we're going to exploit that first. And then you're going to get a song that would be a radio single.
Right. This is kind of like what I interviewed John 5 at one point, and he said the same kind of thing. It's just, you got to build to it now. It's such a different market than when we grew up, where now you come out and you had to have it. Now you kind of pick and choose, and attention.
Yeah, you can't just like put out 1 single and work 1 song for 6 months, and then if you do that, then the other 10 or 11 songs on your record are over. Like, you literally have to build the record before it comes out to keep people's attention, and then do all the other stuff. It is kind of backwards, and that's because of the rules of Spotify and when they think a song is old or a record is old, but that's how it goes. So we're happy to me, the way music is delivered or the rules it's delivered doesn't matter to me. I only care about the music. You can put it out on CD, vinyl, streaming, whatever. As long as I'm still creating the music, I'm happy.
Right on. Absolutely. That's the way it should be. Exactly. So where do your lyrics come from?
I kind of have this like well I just dig into, and it's never ending. I never run out of stuff I have to say. So I just got all this stuff going on. I always have. And I just, when I hear a piece of music, I just literally get inspired, and the music gives me a direction, and I just start going, and it comes out. And it's just this weird thing. Like, I don't need to think about, like, what should I write this song about? It just is kind of always there, which is weird for some people to understand, but it is. Like, I just have stuff in the well or something, or, you know, like, right. And then when I hear music, I'm inspired and it comes out. And, you know, and then one thing we do that's cool though is, once I write lyrics and stuff like that, when we're recording the song, I keep it very open-ended. So like Jaboo or whoever we're writing with, you know, producer, can change stuff, and I'm fine with it. You know, it's okay. It's not like, and we're very egoless with all the music. We're not like, this is how I wrote it, this is how it is. We're more like, let's try a bunch of stuff to get it as best as possible.
Right. You know, when was it? 2015. I did an email interview with Jaboo.
Okay.
I was in Korea at the time, and I had a little site called Korea Guitar. And
I remember that.
He mentioned that he can't tell me where the name Jaboo came from. If he tells me, he would have to kill me, he said.
I'll tell you where it came from.
Awesome.
I named him. So there was a movie, I think it was the 90s, it was called Major League, right? And the one character worshipped, I think it was like a voodoo god or some kind of god, and he called him Jaboo, right? So years ago, we were in this band called Two a Creeper, Jaboo and I. His real name is Jim. So we were at rehearsal years ago. This is probably 20 years ago. And I looked at him and I just watched Major League, and the Major League, the guy keeps going, "Fuck you, Jaboo, fuck you, Jaboo," and I was looking at Jim going, "Fuck you, Jaboo," to be funny, and the drummer goes, "What did you call him, Jaboo?" I said, "No." I was like, I just said something from Major League, and then he started calling him Jaboo, and then everyone in the LA scene within a year was calling him Jaboo, and it just stuck. So it was like, we're like, all right, cool. If that's what people want to call him, fine. But it was just like, we were just kind of like, all right. But it came from the movie Major League, which is really Jaboo, but the drummer who was deaf heard it wrong. So there you go.
Awesome. I don't think there's a reason to have to kill me for that story. That's
no,
not too bad.
he's a weirdo, that guy Jaboo.
Well, he's great though, man. I love listening to his playing. He's so good.
Awesome.
Now, let's talk a bit about this accordion thing.
Sure.
I've seen hundreds of concerts in my life, and I think I've only seen 2 concerts where there was an accordion.
Okay.
One was at a Styx concert.
All right.
And one was at a Billy Joel concert.
There you go. That makes sense.
Not really your style of music. I don't think I've ever heard an accordion in heavy rock.
No, I don't. No, it hasn't been.
It's crazy, but it works so well. Where did this come from?
Probably when I was 20, because I play the piano. I remember just saying to Jaboo when he was just Jim, I remember saying, "You know what, I'm bored. I think I'm going to go out and buy an accordion." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I don't know, but I think I'm going to. I just think I want to." So I went to a pawn shop in Philly, where we're from originally, and I just asked the guy, I said, "You have any accordions?" He's like, "Yeah, I got 2. I go, "What can you tell me about them?" He goes, "Nothing. One's $200. You want it?" I said, "Sure, why not?" And I just took it home and picked it up, and I started playing it, and it just felt right to me. That's the only way I could explain it. It felt right. So I looked at Jaboo. I said, "I think I'm going to put this in some songs." And he was like, "All right, that might be cool." And I played it. He goes, "Wow, it's really creepy. I don't know why that works, but it's really creepy." And it felt right. Now, I don't necessarily play it very traditionally. Now, I know there's lots of ways to play an accordion, but I don't play it traditionally. And I use it more of like a soundscape type thing. I guess really it's closer to the way I use it to a keyboard than it is an accordion. But visually, it just looks so different. People trip out on it. Every sound guy's like, "Well, what do I do with it? How do I mic it?" I go, "You just plug the damn thing in. It's wireless, just like a keyboard, dude. Don't worry that it's an accordion. Just when I make the sound, you'll know what to do with it." It just gets people's attention. It sounds really cool. It seems to work. I know it's a really goofy instrument. Weird Al uses it, and he's a comedian dude. And then Steve Urkel used it, but I don't play polka. I don't even know how to play polka and all that stuff. I just kind of do what I do with it, and I like it for some reason. And I guess I'm tough enough looking that people don't mess with me over it for the most part.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I think it sounds great in there, and it's more like a just kind of background noise,
right?
To fill out the live show.
Totally, yeah. It's just it adds more of a depth to it, a soundscape, and then I do some solo stuff on and intro stuff live, just to get people like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But it just is a really cool thing, and I remember when we did our first record, we did a cover of "Every Breath You Take" from the Police, and the people working with us were like, "You should put the accordion in it," and I was like, "I'm not going to be the guy that puts accordion in "Every Breath You Take." I'm just not going to do it. But we did it. We did a new cover on the new album. We did In Excess's "Never Tear Us Apart," which we completely rewrote because that's a very romantic, sappy song that I love. But we completely shredded it and rewrote it. I did put accordion in that song, and it's awesome. And it comes out on October 8th. It's the next single we're releasing. And it's really dark and really heavy and really sexy. And I'm looking forward to people checking it out because it's definitely like, I wouldn't say it's a love song anymore. I think it's more of like a creeper song, probably.
Now, that brings up an interesting question for people who are not in the business. What are the rules on covering a song, especially "Every Breath You Take" is a pretty famous song, and so is "Never Tear Us Apart." Can you just cover any song you want?
Yeah, and then you just have to go to an agency. There's a couple of agencies that get you the rights and collect the money for the cover. That's how you did it back when we did that song, and they get their percentage of whatever we sell. But nowadays with Spotify and with the digital distribution, when you do a cover, they automatically start collecting those royalties and give whoever owns the song, whether it's the artist or different songwriters, they just give them their cut automatically. So in a lot of ways, you don't have to worry about it. Now, I would assume if that song went into a movie or went on radio or at that point really generated a lot of money, we would have to do some other things. But as far as to be on the streaming services and all that, that money's already collected automatically now and just sent to that whoever. So it's pretty easy, actually. It's not like you have to go and I have to contact Sting or somebody and say, hey, can I cover your song? Because he really doesn't care what I do.
So any song in the world works like that?
I don't know if any song in the world works like that, but it seems to be that's the new way it's working with the digital streaming and all that, So, because bands are just literally putting out covers left and right, and then the streaming services are collecting that money and sending it to the songwriters. It's just like on YouTube now, like if somebody posts Sunflower Dead song, we actually see royalties from that, from how many times it's viewed. It's just automatically being collected. I don't have to go claim that video anymore as mine. It's my song. I'm the songwriter. So
right.
We automatically are seeing money from that.
Well, that's cool.
That's kind of cool. Yeah,
there's a little extra money.
There's some positives. It's not a lot, it would have to, it's streaming money is nothing, but it does kind of add up after a minute. You get, a check for 55 cents. You get your bubble gum down the street. It's all good.
Oh, times have changed.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is kind of a fun question I like to ask always at the end of interviews. I'm up in Canada. Well, first of all, have you ever played in Canada?
We have not played in Canada. We would love to play in Canada.
Get your ass up here as soon as it's safe.
As soon as it's safe, we are 100% in.
We got a really cool club here in Ottawa, man. You would have a great time there.
Awesome. We definitely want to do it. There's no doubt about it. We don't have any felons in the band or anything anymore, so we can come.
Anymore. That's awesome.
Right. Seriously.
I'll ask you after the interview who I would contact. I'll pass your info along to the bar owner. He's
okay.
A really good guy to get on that. But anyway.
Awesome.
But as a Canadian, who are some of the Canadian bands you grew up with or bands now that you like from Canada?
I love Nickelback. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I know a lot of people rag on that, but I think they're awesome. I would actually love to have a chance to meet Chad and do a song or have him produce a song. I think he's a genius and his records sound great. And I think they're just awesome and ridiculously consistent and huge. And yeah, there's no doubt about it. I love Nickelback and everybody makes fun of me, but I don't care.
Why do they get such a hard time?
I don't know.
I can't figure it out.
I can't figure it out personally. They were so successful. Not really quick to them because I know they worked in Canada for a while, but when that first record came out, here in the US, which I think was actually their third record, it was they got huge quick, but the rock community is weird. It's just weird. It's very conservative at times. They don't accept certain things for no reason at all. And you're but yet people are buying the records, obviously, and people are listening to the records and buying the concert tickets. So somebody is, they can't all be in hiding, you know what I'm saying? Who's doing it? But I think that band is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's good for them. And it's good for Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of good Canadian bands that people need to check out, I think. One other question here, and this is going back to It's Time to Get Weird.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear from Gene or Paul about the album cover?
Nope.
Nothing.
And our manager is friends with Kiss. He works with Kiss. He worked on that big Kiss show they did. I believe it was Dubai last year where they set the record for something. He was part of that. He flew out with him. He's good friends with Doc McGee, talks to him every day work. They never said anything. We probably didn't sell enough records for them to care, you know.
Could be.
And then on top, a lot of bands have kind of done that thing. You know, Anthrax did it about a year later. They did a covers record or something where they kind of did the rock and roll over thing. And a lot of bands have done that. So you're allowed to do an homage to bands. You know, it's not really like we stole their artwork. It's just really like, you know, showing them praise in my mind. That's why it really was a joke how it happened. We talked about doing it on our first tour as a joke. And we were like, oh, let's make a flyer and do the rock and roll over cover. Forgot about it. And then the artist who painted the album cover for It's Time to Get Weird, he cover, and none of us liked it, and he didn't like it either. So he goes, wait a minute. He goes, give me up 2 weeks. He goes, I got another idea. And he sent us back the Rock and Roll Over homage. And we were like, holy shit. We were talking about this like a year ago. And we're like, let's make this the album cover. It looks great. It totally was like, all right, cool. But, you know, I think, again, it's just like, it's an homage. It's not like, we put, I guess if we put their characters on it, they would have sued us, but
well,
we didn't.
Yeah, you know, there's homage, and then there's an homage to Kiss, who likes to get money for everything that.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'll gladly pay them the 56 cents they would be owed. It's not a problem. You know, I won't mind. So
the money you got from that YouTube video.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes right to Gene Simmons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he can have it. You know, good for him. And then I won't get my bubble gum this week.
Classic. All right, let's summarize everything here. March of the Lepers, March 4th, 2022. Yep. You said you've already got 2 singles out right now, The Underneath and Falling Down. You can check them out on everywhere, I guess. Everywhere. Music.
Everywhere. Yep.
And you said Never Tear Us Apart is your next single coming out in October.
Yep, October 8th.
Things are moving.
Things are moving, and we just announced 2 more tours. We announced a tour for October, November. We announced a tour for February. And we're about to announce a short little tour for January. So our agent has us working, and hopefully we'll just keep touring all throughout next year and keep building our brand and Sunflower Dead, and people will enjoy it, and we'll keep having fun.
Well, they've got to like it, man. The new tunes are great. The old tunes are great. So keep going on it. It's great stuff. Congratulations on what I've heard so far.
Thank you so much.
Right on.
I told you my heart will not fit in your lies. That's no surprise for you. With silence saw your eyes. There